Hello guys, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you so much for joining me right here at the Metaphysical Academy. And of course, this is a YouTube channel where we try to teach all kind of things related to metaphysics. Okay. And like I always say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and thank you for joining me today. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we want to talk about, you probably have heard this phrase before, an English phrase that says, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, meaning something old can't be taught something new, or something new can't be taught to something old. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay. So we are here today. I'm here basically to break that myth. I'm here to challenge that notion. I'm here to counter argue that statement, because I want to try to tell you today, ladies and gentlemen, that an old dog can be taught new tricks. Okay. Obviously, we are human beings, so we are not dogs. So let's talk about ourselves. Can we be taught new tricks? Can we be taught new things? So, really, that's a topic I want to talk about today. We want to talk about creating new programs and erasing the old programs that are inside of you, or psychological, subconscious programs that you have formulated over the years. Is it possible to erase them totally and introduce new programs? Because most of us, we spend most of our time building a program, and these programs in turn determines the way we think, the way we act, the way we react, and in most cases they even determine the way our personal journey is going to go along. So some of these programs, we have actually put them into our psychological subconscious mind, and it is these programs that determines how we act and react every single day. And even our personal fortune, our personal luck really depends on the program that we have aligned and we have constructed ourselves. So is it possible to retrain yourself? Is it possible to reprogram the program that we have programmed? Is it possible to introduce a new program? Is it possible to erase everything that we have known in the past and introduce something new? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that of course you can. You see, there is nothing that can be changed. As a matter of fact, there is nothing that is impossible. Cognitive neuroscience actually postulates that the brain is always changing for the better. Let me repeat that again. Cognitive neuroscience actually postulates or hypothesizes that the brain is always changing for the better, as long as there is a learning involved. Okay, that is the key word there. As long as there is learning involved, the brain is always changing for the better. That's what cognitive neuroscience postulates. So really, ladies and gentlemen, every single thing that you have believed and you have cemented and made concrete, made solid into your subconscious mind, and you've kind of like created a chain and a pattern. This is a program. This is a subconscious program that you have formulated within you. But we are here to tell you that that program can be reprogrammed. That program can be erased. All the things that all the patterns, all the same things that you've always done and followed automatically on autopilot without even thinking, these are the programs that you have accumulated over the years. But those old habits, those old way of thinking, old perception, old way of living, all of that can be reprogrammed. All of that can be changed, and new programs can be introduced into your life. So you've got the ability to get rid of everything, because a lot of us, we think the way I am today is simply because of what happened to me when I was younger. The way I am today is simply because of the environment I grew up, the parents that I grew up with, the school I went to, or the community I live with, how I was brought up. You see, yes, this is true to a certain extent, but it doesn't mean that this is concrete and this is permanent, because all of these are programs that you have accumulated over the years, and this is what have built up what's called your subconscious mind. But all of that, your subconscious mind is a reprogrammable. Your subconscious mind can be erased. You can get rid of old habits. You can get rid of old patterns. You can get rid of uh, old autopilot way of things that you've been doing without even thinking. You're doing it automatically. So really, ladies and gentlemen, an old dog can be introduced new tricks. New tricks can be introduced to something old. It is very, very easy and very, very possible to reprogram all the programs you've programmed over the years and start afresh. Get rid of everything and start with a blank piece of paper and start to put things inside of your program. If there are certain things that you've been following without even thinking, without even knowing, and only you know those things, you can sit down, center yourself on the middle, and understand what is exactly, observe and understand yourself. What is it that you've just been doing automatically? Then you wonder why you're always stuck in the same cycle, why you're always stuck in the same pattern of life, why you never progress from A, B to F, G. You're always stuck at C. Is it because all the programs you've programmed into your subconscious mind are limiting you? So go back to all those old programs and get rid of them and introduce something new. How do you introduce something new? You introduce something new by believing what you introduce into yourself, by believing what you think, by understanding and believing and 100% categorically and say, this is my way of thinking, this is my new attitude, this is my new pattern. I'm breaking the old cycle, I'm breaking the old pattern, and this is the new system, the new things I'm going to be introducing into my blank piece of paper, and cement it with a permanent marker on that piece of paper and say, this is what I'm going to solidify. This is, I'm going to make solid, concrete. This is the new program I am introducing to my psyche. I am introducing to my subconscious mind. As you know, a subconscious mind is actually a pool of information, a pool of patterns, a pool of attitudes, a pool of behavior, a pool of beliefs that you have accumulated over the years, and you have made this the truth of you. That's why a lot of people, most of the time, we are on autopilot, because it is the subconscious mind that is actually the driving force of all our way of living and all of our way of life. It is because we have actually cemented and made concrete the subconscious mind. So what I'm trying to say to you, everything that you have accumulated over the years, all the beliefs, all the patterns, all the things that you've actually said it's true, all of those things, you can revisit them. Nobody else can do that for you. You can do that by yourself. Go back to all those old ways and break the cycle, break the chain, break the pattern, break that cycle. Introduce a new things, introduce something new. And if you do not like what you've been doing, what has been limiting you, what's been stopping you from getting to that level or getting to achieving all the things that you've always wanted to achieve, is simply because your beliefs that you've accumulated over the years are limiting you. They're limiting the way you think. They're limiting the way your brains function. Like I said, cognitive neuroscience postulate that the brain is always changeable. The brain always changes for the better as long as there is a learning involved. So, like I said, learning is the key word. So if you introduce something new, you are learning something new. And the only way you're gonna try to make whatever that you're gonna introduce into your subconscious mind, it's all about repetition. The more you do something, the more you repeat it, the more it takes form. The more you repeat, the more you do something, the more it becomes concrete, the more it becomes solid, the more it becomes permanent. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just thought I'll make this quick little video for you, and I want you to understand that an old dog can be introduced new tricks. An old dog can be taught new things. Your old yourself, you can't be taught new things. You can't be stuck with something that is not permanent. You've only made it permanent because that's what you believe. But like I said, a subconscious mind, which is a big chunk of our mind, like I said in my past videos, that a subconscious mind is about 90% of your consciousness or your conscious mind, and 10% of it is conscious, right? Conscious mind. So really, most of the times, it is the subconscious mind that is the driving force, that is on the driving seat. It is the subconscious mind that is detecting, that is narrating, that is guiding, that is directing how our life is taking shape or taking form. So if the subconscious mind is on the driver's seat, but we need to understand who is the driver. We need to understand the composition of the driver. We need to understand the psychological profile of the driver. We need to understand the profile of the driver. So once we get to understand the driver, we can always change the driver, or we can always change aspects of the driver, which is your subconscious mind. So old programs can be reprogrammed. And of course, you can do it. You can introduce something new if something is not working. If something you've always wanted, whatever single time you try to do something, no matter how you do it, you never get successful. You never quite reach where you want your end goal you want to try to get to. Every single time you try something, it doesn't matter how many times you try to do it, you attempt to do it, you always stuck on the middle. You always stuck before you reach it, your result. How come it never happens? It's simply because there is something that is blocking you, and the only thing that is blocking you, it is your belief. It is your the things that you've accumulated over the years, which is in your psyche, in your subconscious mind. There is nothing external that is affecting you from progressing. A lot of people, they try to blame external things. They like to blame other people. They like to blame their childhood. They like to blame the environment. They like to blame other people. They like to blame their bosses. They like to blame their supervisors. They like to blame whoever, but they never look at themselves, because the buck stops with you. It is you who can make who can introduce progress, or it's you who's going to be stagnant. It is you who is in charge of the driving seat. The car is not going to move until you start driving. But who is the driver? It is you, because your subconscious mind is part of you. But if it has programs that are detrimental to your success or to your progress, all these programs can be erased. Get rid of them and introduce something new. So this is what we're trying to teach here today at the Metaphysical Academy. Today we are teaching about introducing new programs, reprogramming the program that you've programmed into your psyche, into your life, reprogramming everything that has been holding you back from achieving and getting to wherever you want to be. So ladies and gentlemen, an old dog can be taught new tricks. An old heart can be taught new things. An old mind can be taught new things. A subconscious mind can be taught new things. You shouldn't be stuck. You shouldn't be staying stagnant. And do not be going on autopilot and let other things that have been superimposed on you without even your own willingness, without even your own participation, and without even your own acceptance, and these are the things that's stopping you, ladies and gentlemen, you've got the power and ability to reprogram, reshape all the program, all the beliefs, accumulation of beliefs that you've had over the years. You can erase them, get rid of them, introduce something new, introduce new patterns, new cycles, new behavior patterns, new beliefs, new perception. Of course, you can do that. And only you can do that. Nobody else can do that for you. So I just thought, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come here with a quick video. And please always remember that nothing is impossible, because you are a divine power. You are a divine creator. You are the God in flesh. And like I always say in most of my videos, you are the God in flesh. Always remember that. Once you align yourself with your center and understand that you are not your flesh and bones, you are not your birth certificate, you are not your clothes, you're not your ego, you are not what our society, what your parents have told you are. You are a divine conscious. You are a creative power, okay, that is experiencing a reality in this physical dimension. That's what you are. Because a lot of us, we tend to forget the reality of us. We tend to forget who are we. By understanding who you really are, this is how you're going to come to even grip and come to even in this awakening and enlightenment to understand how is it possible to recreate, to reshape everything about you. Because most of the times, all of us, we grew up with certain society. We grew up with a certain environment. And sometimes our society and our environment shapes up our upbringing, shapes up our philosophy, shapes up our psychological profile, shapes up our perception. But all these things can be erased and be introduced. Something new can be introduced. But you can do that. Only you can do that. Okay? There is nothing that is impossible of you. Do not be stuck, okay? There is nothing that is beyond your reach. Do not be stagnant. And understand, like I always say, understand your own divinity. Understand that everything that you want in life, okay? I always say this in all my videos because I want to keep on reminding you guys, since we always talk about the metaphysical academy, metaphysical principles here. I always try to remind you. And this is very important, very imperative. It is important to understand that everything that you want in your life is already in existence. You already have it within you. It's not something that is out there. It's not something that is very distant. It's not something that is in a very distant future. It's not something that is unreachable. It's not something that is unattainable. It's not something that is incomprehensible or inconceivable. It's something that is touchable. It's something that is in your proximity because it's within you. Everything outside, external, it's only a projection of what's within you. So really, you've got the ability to change anything you want into your life. It's all about understanding who you are, believing who you are, knowing who you are. And imagining, because the thing is, the only thing that can stop you from being whoever and doing whatever that you want is only it's really your stretch of your imagination. How deep is your imagination? How far is your imagination? How big is your imagination? How truthful is your imagination? How genuine is your imagination? How realistic is your imagination? Nothing is beyond you, ladies and gentlemen, because you are the divine essence. You are the divine creative power. But most importantly, I want you to understand this, that to quickly summarize this video, you've got the ability to reshape all the old programs that you have accumulated over the years, all the old patterns, all the old beliefs, everything that you have come to the conclusion that this is truth, this is me. All of that can be changed, and you can change it. And by changing everything, you can change your own perception. By changing everything, you are removing that veil that has been blocking you and seeing reality from what it is. You are taking off the veil of ignorance that has been stopping you from achieving and having clear vision. You can reprogram your own programs. Okay, you can reshape your own programs. You can teach an old dog new tricks. And ladies and gentlemen, I thought this is an important message, and hopefully it's going to help somebody out there, and hopefully it's going to make a massive difference in your life. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And like I always say, keep on smiling and always stay blessed. Okay, it's your boy, it's brother Mason. Okay, bye bye.